Passage 13, May 1981, Paper First. Mr. Chairman, sir, I am very sorry I could not speak to you last Sunday. Many things were on my mind which I had thought of discussing with you, but even at that very time, the government was moving towards a larger decision which touches on all these other problems about which I had wanted to speak. Let me be frank with you. The decision to devalue the rupee was not an easy one. It was taken after the most anxious and searching consideration. How much easier it would have been to have evaded a decision. There are times in the history of every nation when its will is tested and its future depends on its capacity for resolute action and bold decision. This is such a time in India. We are probably passing through the most difficult and crucial period since the very first year of independence. When I assumed my present office some months ago, I was not aware of the tremendous difficulties ahead, of the great effort and sacrifice which would be needed to steer through hard, lean months of scarcity and to get the economy moving forward again. Let this be understood. We have not failed, and only the timid will say that we cannot succeed. We have carried the process of development to a stage where we are in a position to register substantially larger gains. There is a dynamic potential which we must use. Devaluation, however, is not a magic cure. It does offer an intermediate corrective to some of the distortions which had crept into the economy. The increasing disparity between Indian and international prices was one such element. The price line must, of course, be held if the gains of devaluation are not to be neutralized. There must also be a whole series of other supporting action along a broad front. Immediately, however, I am deeply conscious of the fact that prices have been rising and have risen still further in the past few days. There is little justification for any price increase in respect of items in which there is no import content. Antisocial practices will be dealt with firmly under the Essential Commodities Act. Government will not hesitate to take additional legislative powers if necessary. I do appeal to all citizens as consumers and as producers to resist any unwarranted price increases. I have already received assurances from a number of responsible manufacturers that they will maintain the prices of their products. We are taking steps to ensure that everyone is able to procure essential supplies such as food, vegetable, oils, and kerosene at reasonable rates. Para. The opening of consumer stores and fair price shops is being accelerated. A control room is being organized to get reports on prices and availability of essential articles all over the country. This will facilitate prompt remedial action to deal with profiteering and local shortages. We are once again examining economy in expenditure. We cannot afford deficit financing. Agriculture constitutes the very foundation of the economy. We cannot falter or fail here. I shall shortly address the chief ministers on the economic and financial discipline which the states must observe. I propose to consult with labor and management on how we can jointly increase productivity and cut costs. Discussions are in progress with the chairman of various export promotion councils to formulate a plan of action on the export front. Tonight I make no promises, but I really want you to think over what I have said. Devaluation is a means, it is not the end of the road. We did not think then, nor do we think today, that it is a magic cure that just be the act of devaluation. All the ills in this country will be cured and the prices checked. The prices have not suddenly gone up last month. The prices have been going up during the last 2 or 3 years, and in spite of numerous measures and attempts to try and curb this rise, we have not been able to do so. So, devaluation is not going to achieve all this suddenly, but it is something which, if followed by the right action, can give us the opportunity of resuming the onward progress which had been held up due to circumstances beyond our control. One matter which has naturally aroused the concern of the House and of the government too is the increase in prices of essential commodities. As I said, this is not something that has suddenly come into being after devaluation. It is an old process and it has been getting out of hand even before para. Devaluation by itself is not solely responsible for any increase in prices which may have taken place after it, except, of course, in the case of imported goods, we have to deal with this matter. We have started various shops. I fully realize that they are not adequate. Far greater measures will have to be taken, and such stores will have to be opened not only in the urban areas but in the rural areas as well. We cannot, in this matter, neglect the rural areas which need more help. Hoarders and antisocial elements have been prosecuted not only in Delhi or Punjab, which have received a certain amount of publicity, but in some other states also. Although this has not been published, published, but I agree that perhaps all that could be done has not been done. We are not perfect. We attempt to do something. We do not always succeed, nor can we always succeed. We have taken up tremendous programs. Whenever we have taken up these programs, the cry has been that these are too big and that we cannot do it. Yet we have tried to go ahead with our programs. You cannot expect cent percent success, but in a large number of things we have succeeded. Para. These are some of the difficulties which we face when we take up new programs. Everything we have done in India is new. Even democracy is new. Democracy has existed for a long time in many countries, but the manner in which we have brought it in India with adult franchise in such a vast country is something very new to the world and it cannot be denied.